All right, so we are live. Let me just make sure I have it on this end. Let's make sure here. There we are. There we are. Share this to Facebook feed. And ta-da! All right, all right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Oh, let me turn this down. I'm breaking the rules here. Um, you know. So hit you. There we go. All right. Good afternoon. Sorry about that, folks. Welcome to Dollars and Cents. It's good to see you. Good to have you. Good to be here. The team, the usual team is here, right? Not everyone, but we're here. We have Miss Billy Jane Bolton Rojo with us,
That's it.
right?
That's it.
Yeah. From PCAL Financial Group, right?
Yes.
Partnership in creating a legacy. Oh, it's smooth now. It's
Yes. Look at
smooth.
you. Look at you. Yes.
Man, listen, Billy. So let me. I'm gonna make you very comfortable, or colloquial talk is mad comfortable, right? So she is in her car. She's on the road. She's running errands. She's doing a whole bunch of things. She's being the typical busy person. All right.
Yes.
The
Yes.
she's out there just getting things done, and that's okay. And we have to do these things sometimes, but we wanted to bring the information that we have still,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
Regardless of what we're doing or what we're going through.
Regardless, we are so committed to you guys. We are so committed to bringing information, bringing pearls of wisdom to the community. We will do it anywhere. We are not going to let circumstance get in the way of that. So yes, I'm here in my vehicle, so don't judge my background.
Yeah. So
But
the only thing we have to do is just keep our fingers crossed. We always want the Wi-Fi to stay steady. Steady.
let's hope, yes, let's get some grace and favor on us that the Wi-Fi holds.
Yes, Lord,
Yes.
hold it steady. Hold it
I'm so
steady.
excited to be with everybody. Here in Canada, because I know
Yeah.
now you've totally forgotten us, KP, now that you've gone south of the border. But for us Canadians, we just celebrated Thanksgiving,
Happy
Monday.
belated.
Yes. So I just, as we kick this off since the first time after Thanksgiving, it's just really to express our gratitude for
Yes.
you, for tuning in, for giving us the honor and privilege of sharing information, for inviting us into your world. We try to come out here Thursdays, and I'm so grateful for the team for inviting me into the family.
Listen, you're
It has
in.
been such an honor and privilege to be able to participate with everybody on dollars and cents and
Yeah.
bringing information to the community. But yeah, very grateful for the opportunity to do that, and grateful for the community for inviting us in and being open to the information that we share. And what we would really be grateful for is to see action being taken by some of the information that we're delivering. So
Most definitely.
mm.
Just let's not go off the Thanksgiving. So, how was Thanksgiving for you? It was good. You were with the
It was
fam, like.
good. It actually was good. I actually do it on the Sunday because I want to relax on the Monday. So we
Okay.
had our big Thanksgiving dinner. Well, it's not that big. It was just really our little nuclear family,
Yeah.
just us on the Sunday. And then the Monday, I went like apple picking with my son. My older kids were like, Mom, we don't want to do that. I'm like, what? Do you know how good those apples were? Oh my gosh, I brought so many apples home.
You're such
And
a
so now
Canadian.
everyone is like, you know, apple morning, afternoon, dinner, every time is apples. Okay. But it's so good. It was so good time hanging out with him. Then we did a corn maze and all of
Yeah.
that. So it was good.
Listen,
I'm grateful.
you're
It was a
Canadian.
lovely,
You're
pure
you're
Canadian,
you're
man.
in it, all right, guy. You're in it. You are in it. I love it.
Truly
I
a
love
Canadian.
it.
Yes. You
Yes.
don't even realize when you do it.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I am telling you. I love
Now
it. I
you've
love to
left
hear
us.
that.
You're judging us. Look at that, eh? You were one
Listen,
of us.
well, okay, so I may not be able to pick apples, but I can pick oranges. Come on now. Come on. Come on. You
Oh my
know?
goodness.
We'll
Listen, that
just
no, I
different
can't
fruit.
argue with that. When you're looking outside your backyard at trees with all this beautiful fruit,
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even judge that. No,
That's
that's a
it.
beautiful
All right.
thing.
I'm glad to hear it went well, and
It
happy
did.
belated Thanksgiving to
Thank
everyone.
you. Yours is November.
Yes, yes. It's Thanksgiving at that time, but you know how commercialized it is. So even Canadians are looking forward to
Hello, we are trying to get our whole thing on, with American Thanksgiving and then Black Friday. Like, what does that have
Yep,
to do with us? But we're
yep.
all up in it.
Oh
We're
yes,
all up
oh
in it.
yes.
So
All right. So
yeah.
yeah, talk today. Talk today. Last time we left the cliffhanger, but we're gonna deal with the cliffhanger at another time, right?
Yeah, we're towards the end,
Yeah.
but yeah, we want to keep you hanging.
All right.
But we've got some, or I've got some information to share, and it's sort of like a recent development, and it's kind of part of the reason why I'm in the car,
Mm,
because I've had some significant family change. My youngest started going to a new school, an
okay.
independent
Talk to us.
school or a
Yeah.
private school, and it's in the city, so it's a trek. Okay. And so I drop him at school, and then I will like hit a library or a coffee shop or my home office in the car. Okay, so that's why I am based
So you
here.
actually wait for him then?
I do. I stay though, because if I'm going to come into the city, I'm not going to go back home and then come back. So I just stay here. Now, I am so grateful that another parent had reached out about carpooling. So we do share the load.
Right.
So that helps. But when it's my turn, then I just stay in the city for the day. I just like come and I just stay here. And this is my home office.
You're
And then
committed, man. You're
well,
dedicated to
you
this
know
thing.
what? Sometimes we do this sacrifice for our
Yeah.
kids,
Right.
so yeah, so I actually wanted to share a bit about that experience because
Okay.
we were so blessed for this opportunity to be given to him, and I just really wanted to share that with our viewers
Right.
who've got school age kids, and who
Yeah.
knows, this may be an opportunity for them. And I know that if anyone had talked to me about independent schools or private school, I would have been like, yeah, not for me. We don't have $100,000 a year for school. Okay,
Mm,
so I in going through the experience, our journey, I there's a lot of information, kind of like myths to dispel, and opportunities that I thought would be really good to share with with the community. And I'm all about legacy, as in Peak Al
yes.
Financial Group, creating a legacy. I think this is one of the strategies to accelerate your
Right.
legacy.
And the
Okay.
folks watching us on social media will see that legacy acceleration. That's what we're
Legacy acceleration. I'm going to share
right.
some two things. One of them is independent school, and I'm keeping you the cliffhanger for the other strategy.
Hmm.
So, in terms of the independent schools,
What
as
are
I
the
said,
myths? You said you mentioned myths. You want to start with the myths first,
well,
or you want?
I mean, in terms of, well, one of them is like, oh my gosh, it's first of all, my kid has to be like an A+ student
Right. That's
to get
one
into
myth.
this school. Okay. And that's not the case. Mind you, your
Mhm.
child does still need to be, relatively high performing, but they don't have to be
Right.
an A+ student, maybe a B+ student. But you want to make sure that your child is more well-rounded, that they are participating in extracurricular or co-curricular activities, right? So if they've got other talents and gifts, cultivate that, whether
Right.
that's in the school and they're developing leadership skill at the school, or outside of school that you have them participating in other activities, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's one thing. Your children do not have to be A+ students to be able to access these opportunities.
All
Now,
right.
there are some, because these schools, honestly, they do very well, prepare the children very well
Right.
for post-secondary success.
Hmm.
And the education can be somewhat accelerated. A lot of these schools offer things like IB, which is International Baccalaureate Program, for kids who want to go to school, like international school. So they're prepared to meet the international
Oh, so
requirements
that's what you mean by
of the
accelerated,
country.
like
Yeah, it accelerated for that program, but just in general, some of the
okay,
kids, let's say when they're in grade 7, they're actually doing grade 8 math, for
okay,
instance, right?
all right. I get you
So, I
now.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, so there are some academic demands on the school. So
Hmm.
they are looking for students who can, rise to that challenge. But an A+ student may not necessarily be that student. So the thing to think about is, your report card, or like here in Ontario, we've got the report card. We've got the first page, which shows the learning skills and working habits.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next pages provide the actual grades. Well, the independent schools actually really look at that first page. That first page has some of those soft skills like collaboration,
Mm-hmm.
initiative, things like that. They're like 6
They put a
quadrants.
they put high value on those things.
They do. They value
Okay.
those things because do you know what? If kids have those skills developed, then they can work with them to
Right.
build up the academic performance. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
I
So
get
it's
you.
not necessarily the academic performance that guarantees success. It's the ability for the child to work in an environment that will help them to cultivate the skills. So I just wanted to see if I can pull up some of those. Yeah, so just so you can see, so things like, okay, so those learning skills would be like responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
independent work,
Mm-hmm.
initiative, organization. I think we all,
Hello.
like some of us grown-ups need
Hello.
to work on that. Collaboration, can you get on
Yeah.
with your peers? Self-regulation,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they look at how kids
Also known as
perform on
discipline,
that.
maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So they look at that first one. They want to see that kids are getting E for excellent and G for good. That's what they want to see. They don't want to see like S for satisfactory or like needs improvement. They want to see strong performance on that. The
Right.
marks, as I said, as long as it's at least a B plus, that can support that. Doesn't have to be straight A's. So that's something. So when we look at our kids and trying to elevate them academically, we really should be holistic about it and seeing about how we can support those soft skills. So really
Right.
pay attention to that. Now, the schools also do want to see if the kids are going to be able to be successful academically. So the schools may have various assessments. Now,
Okay.
yeah, so for the younger kids, like my son is in grade 7 right now. He did do an assessment at the school, but they don't want the kids getting prepared. They just have some activities and get an idea of how the kids think and how they cope in certain situations at the
That's
school.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, but when you're in high school, then there's more standardized testing, and it's called
Okay.
the SSAT. I want to say secondary school aptitude test. Don't quote me
Mm-hmm.
on that. I'll put it in the comments later when I can pull that up. But the SSAT is a standardized test for independent schools or private and prep schools. And so
Okay.
kids need to, and it's it's pretty, I would say it's pretty rigorous. So don't leave that to the last minute. If you know that you're pursuing this for your child, or your child has an opportunity to pursue that, then you want to start preparing for that. They've got study guides for the SSAT and stuff like that. So that's
It's
another thing.
just to interject. I'm just looking it up here. It's as far as what I pulled up,
Yeah, what
it's
it
the
stands for.
secondary school admission test.
Admission test. That's it.
Okay. All right.
Secondary school admission test. So
Mm-hmm.
kids who are going into grade 9
Yeah.
here, when we say grade 9, I know in the States you guys say ninth grade, but
Nice.
here grade 9. So kids going like at least into grade 9, going into high school,
Yeah.
or if they are transferring into school in during their high school years, they
Mm-hmm.
will probably have to do that. But again, they need to check the school to see what their admission requirements are if they do require that test. And yeah, it's a standardized test.
Is it something that they do over here? Because I know about the SATs, but
Yeah,
that's at a different
SAT,
level,
that's for university, right?
right?
Or you
And
guys call it college.
yeah,
Um,
actually they do because some of the links that are coming up here, it's mentioning the United States. So it says
so
here,
there you
United
go. It is
students grade 3 to 11 provide a
Oh,
standardized.
see? So even grade 3. So it
Yeah.
depends. You need to find out what the requirements are from the school. And as I said,
Okay.
it's standardized. So you can apply to multiple schools. You do that test and that the data goes into like, let's say one central, let's just say database. Okay. I may not be using the
Hmm.
right language, but it goes to a centralized place where multiple schools can access the results.
Okay.
So, you can apply for different schools. So I want to dispel the myth about, needing to be an A plus student in order to do this, but you do still need to have a student that is still, committed to school. And as parents, we want to support, as I said, largely those soft skills, get them involved in extracurricular activities, getting them
Right.
involved at school. Those things help to strengthen, your child's application so that they can be admitted. Now, the other thing that people are like, what? Tuition.
Okay, okay, you're getting to it. That money, that's one of
To
those things I was
which
waiting to hear, but
Okay, now I'm not even gonna say it's a myth, except that, like, it's not 100,000 that I thought it was, right?
give us a
But
ballpark if you don't want to tell us the exact number.
like, okay, I can tell you, for instance, like some of the schools, like a Crescent, like I'm talking about Ontario
Mhm,
schools, like
mhm,
a Crescent, which is a boys' school, UCC, which is Upper Canada College,
mhm.
those schools are in the mid to high 30,000 per year.
Per year.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
Per year. I mean, that is like more than 60% of my daughter's 4 years of university
So
for
so
1 year of the school.
so question on that. Um, how do you know? Because of course we know the audience that we're talking to. Of course, one you got to bring up the money, but how do they even apply that? How do you apply? Is it like a payment plan? Like how do they do
Oh,
that?
they do offer payment plans, but
Yeah,
even still, you're like, payment plan, no payment plan. How?
yeah,
This ain't happening. You know what I mean?
right.
That's a lot of money.
It
But
is.
what I want to share to give families hope
Mm-hmm.
is that these schools have endowment funds to offer financial aid to families.
Right.
So don't just be like, oh my gosh, sticker shock, 30 something thousand, not an opportunity. No, go
Right.
ahead and apply for financial aid. They don't call them scholarships. They are financial aid because they do look at the family's financial situation and assess all of that to
Right.
determine how much to gift to a family. Okay.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, so that's the big thing because people don't know that there's financial aid. So you don't have to be in that whole journey alone, right?
Right. Right.
They will determine how much they can support your kids, with that education. So I'm telling you, we are benefiting from that because 30 something thousand is not going to happen. Okay.
Yeah.
Especially
That's
when we're thinking about multiple children who have other needs and stuff, we're just not at that point yet. Yet.
true. This school or the schools that you're talking about
Yeah.
here, because I know of private school. Is this like this one is just a cut above the private schools type thing?
No,
Because
no,
you have
no.
general,
You're
it's
right.
all
There's
the
a
same,
range of
right?
private schools. Like generally, a private school is not getting public funding. So like Christian schools, Montessori schools, because there's some Montessori school programs that go into high school. Like they're all kind of considered independent schools because I guess they're independent of public funding. And
Hmm.
there are various, they range, depends on the school and depending on what they offer. Some schools also, as I mentioned, that I'm commuting my son to school, and so I'm hanging out here in my, mobile home office, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
But some schools even offer boarding.
Right.
So that, like, let's say for older kids, right?
Right.
That you don't have to worry so much about the commute, but that's an additional cost. But again, financial aid and things like that are
Right.
available. So the thing that I really want families to know is, yes, it is a bit of a cost, and you know what? Honestly, you need to be prepared as a family to still invest, some because they may not cover all of it. So
Hmm.
be in a position to consider how much you're willing to invest or able to invest to support your child's independent school studies or private school studies, if you want to call it that. And consider that, as you prepare, but you're not in it all alone, right? You can get some substantial support to fund your child's education. And I like to call this acceleration because these kids, I mean, it is really a different level of education. It really is. Like my son is tired and it's only been 6 weeks of school
Right.
because there has been a lot of learning, and, there's a huge level of engagement among the parents because these parents are very committed to their kids' education and a lot of engagement from teachers and stuff like that. So it really is a different experience. And so, yeah, it's been a significant time of transition for this little guy as he adjusts to that. But it really is an excellent opportunity. I actually had a talk with a couple of amazing ladies and a young man
Mhm.
about this very subject, about independent schools. So we were looking at private schools and prep schools. And we usually think about prep schools for those who are academically inclined, not sorry, athletically inclined.
Right, right,
Okay. Um, and it was a really, really good section. It was, I hosted, it's called an Accessing Unfund Tap series, and it was Accessing Untapped Funds
right.
series, and it was on private schools and prep schools, and we talked all about making that opportunity available to kids, things to think about and stuff like that. And in particular, there's an amazing woman, Cheryl Lewis, who is the executive director of an organization that helps families. So that's the thing that I want to mention as well. Not
Okay.
only can you get help from the school through endowments and financial aid, there are organizations, and I can say that specifically for our community, people of African descent. There's an organization here in Toronto called the African Canadian Christian Network. Okay, that's what they're called. I don't believe you need to be Christian to be able to access their resources, but they've got partnerships with a number of the independent schools or private schools here in Ontario.
Repeat the name again. Repeat the name again.
African Canadian Christian Network, ACCN. So one of
Okay.
the things that they do is support families. So when a family, because you were starting to ask about, application, there is
Right.
a process. Right now, once we get into the October season, this is the time to start exploring. So that's why I thought it would be a really good time for us to have this chat. They have virtual open houses because of COVID. I don't think they've opened the doors for people to walk through the schools yet, but they have open houses. Normally it's in person, but they have virtual open houses. So the school will give you lots of information. And you
Hmm.
know what? The schools are trying to sell themselves as well. So they're going to share with you all of the things that set them apart, make them unique, so that you can determine what makes sense for your child and where your child's interests are, where their strengths are, what kind of an environment would help them thrive. So, go to those open houses. But once you're ready to apply to a school, there's like an application fee. And those fees could be like $200, depending if it's like a late submission, it could be like $300. And if you want to apply to multiple schools, well, that's a lot. Even doing one, for a family, having to find, that's it, ACCN, that's it.
Okay. I'm gonna drop it
You
in the
got to
link.
please drop it in there. The what was I just saying about just got distracted where my mind went.
Well,
um
you're describing all the different things
oh,
with the
right,
funds, right?
right. So the application, so there's actually an application fee.
Right.
So an organization like ACCN, who helps families, one, they will pre-screen. So your kids, they're going to look at your kids' report cards. Like you have to go through, create a package so that they can pre-screen, help you to determine your child's level of success in
Hmm.
attending these schools. And they will help you to submit all your applications to multiple schools, and that application fee is waived. So that's a great thing, to be able to access multiple schools to see what might be the right fit, right? So take this time, explore, go to the open houses, check it out, see what schools would interest you, whether you want an all-girls school or an all-boys school or a co-ed school, right?
Right.
A school with boarding, a school that doesn't have boarding, a French school. There's so many opportunities, but the ACCN website will share with you what schools they've partnered with. And they've got I think 20 schools that they've partnered with to help families to access, private school education. So check them out. And even better yet, they're having an info session tonight. So this talk is timely. They're having an info session tonight at 7 p.m. Um, I will have to drop the link to register. I'll drop
Right.
it here because I don't think it's there on the website. So I will drop the link to register. I wonder if I sent that to you. Maybe check
It's
KP if
okay.
I
We can
sent
always
that.
drop it in after.
Yeah. So it's tonight, 7
Hmm.
p.m., and it's a free info session to get you exposed to the whole prospect, explore the whole idea of pursuing independent schools or private schools for your kids and how ACCN can support. So they are helping kids of African descent to access that. But I remember I was saying that I think this is one strategy to accelerate your legacy because, as I said, like the education is really preparing them. And you'll see, on the school sites, they'll say 100% of our kids attend the university of their choice. 100%. Okay. So that is huge, knowing that the success rate is pretty much 100%. Okay.
Right.
But further to that, when I was mentioning that I hosted a talk with Miss Cheryl Lewis, who is the executive director of ACCN,
Mm-hmm.
and I also invited a young man, Tony, to participate in the conversation because I wanted him to share his experience because he was actually at the time in grade 12. So I wanted him to share the real deal life experience as a student. And guess what? Tony is high achieving, doing amazing things. He's going to Upper Canada College, and it was,
How old is Tony?
Tony, he's now graduated, so he's now in first year university.
Okay.
So
Okay.
let's say
All right.
he's 18 by now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Tony was awarded one of the top scholarships in the land. It's called the Loram Scholar, I
And
think
Tony
it
is a
is.
brother, right? A young brother.
He is a Nigerian Canadian
All
brother.
right. He's a
Okay.
brother.
And he got through the program. He was
Mhm.
able to access UCC, I believe, through ACCN as well.
Okay.
So, really, really making a difference for kids. So, yeah,
Right.
it is the Loram Scholarship, which is they only awarded 29 of these scholarships to
And this
like
is through
kids
he
in
got it through
Canada.
ACCN.
No, the scholarship he would have applied to on his own,
Give
but
me the
it's
name
through
again.
ACC. It's the Loran Scholarship, so Loran
Oh,
Scholarship. But he went to UCC, which is Upper Canada College, and he went to UCC through ACCN, through their sort of admission process to support families.
right.
So, not that everyone's going to be a Loran Scholar, but the opportunity that
Mm-hmm.
was made available because his mom decided to pursue that track. He was committed to his studies, and he was just an amazing young man beyond being a very strong student, just so well rounded, such a leader, very active
Mm-hmm.
in his school. So, yeah, that definitely accelerates your knowledge legacy when your kids are able to come out 100% pursuing whatever it is that they want to pursue. And that they are positioned not only academically, but even socially, running in circles that are quite influential and learning all sorts of skills to help
Right.
them to be leaders. So, I wanted just to share that with the community.
I'm dropping it.
It's
I'm putting it in, and
yes,
it's
please.
gonna
I
and
want to
folks.
share that with the community. It is not out of reach. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Explore. Don't say no before finding out.
Mm-hmm.
Explore. Go and check out some of the different schools. Attend their
Yeah.
virtual online open houses. Go to ACCN's info session that's going to be held tonight. Okay. And get some information. Learn how they support families and what opportunities there are. Okay. And if you're successful with the admission, go ahead and go for that financial aid because there is quite a bit of money that they're investing in the kids. So why not yours? So take advantage of that. These schools are looking for opportunities to have a more diverse school body. So that positions us well to be able to gain access to these opportunities. And it's something that I want to see, like not just Tony, not just my son getting in, but I want to see so many of our children taking
Right. Right.
advantage of these opportunities if it's for them. Remember, this is not for everyone, but for
Right.
those that it is for, to have the awareness that this opportunity is there, it's just I really
I
want to
think
make
that's the key there, the awareness. Like a lot of times,
exactly.
individuals just don't know, and
Exactly.
once you put that information out there, then they can take. It might be a bit nerve wracking um, to have to.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. The finances and all the different things that you've spoken about, right? You're putting them in a elite school. You know what I'm saying? And the whole that
Yes.
whole world that you have to traverse now and all that, as opposed
Yes.
to
Well,
what you would normally do.
that's true. And so, you do have to, kind of prepare yourself for that journey, one
Yeah.
financially, and then
Mhm.
even just socially,
Socially,
right?
correct.
Because right now, honestly, they're looking to make a more diverse school, community,
Right.
is not that diverse right now. So know that you
Understood.
are going to be,
That's real
treading these
talk.
waters. No, really.
That's real talk there
It's
in
it,
terms of
it's
you. Normally, when we hear these schools, you don't see a lot of black folks in there.
no, you don't. You
Um,
don't.
you
Don't.
see the majority community, Asian community, um,
Asian.
right,
Asian.
right.
Okay. Yes.
But
And
what separates
Caucasian.
and Caucasian? When I say majority, the Caucasian,
Yeah, no, you're absolutely
and
right.
it's the finances usually that separates us, right?
Yes.
Awareness, sure. If some people are aware, they know about it, but and once again, just the kind of talks that we have within our community, bougie school, upper level, all this type of talk in terms of saying that basically that type of talk is saying, well, can't afford it, and I'm not gonna even think
And
about it.
you just rule yourself out, but
Yeah,
you just don't know. And as I said, like, people also don't realize that there's financial support.
yeah,
So explore, find out before you say no to that possible future.
right.
Explore. So just get the information. So yeah, so all of that, is going to be dropped into the, I know that KP's
I
already
did.
putting
I
some
did.
info.
It's there already. It's there already.
Yes. Yes. Oh,
ACCNtoronto.com and also LoramScholar.ca.
perfect. And I will come back and I'll also put in the link to register for tonight's session.
Okay.
Is the internet still okay? Are you seeing me okay and hearing me okay?
You're fine, man. I would
Okay.
have let you know already. I'll be cracking a
Okay,
joke
good.
or
Because
something,
it's looking a little choppy on my end, so I just want to make
No,
sure
man,
I'm
you're
still
good.
coming through.
You're
Okay.
good. But in
All
terms
right.
of Nick, before you move on to the next topic,
Yeah, no.
just make the connection as far as legacy is concerned. And we're talking about situating ourselves financially, but you talked about education, so I don't know, I'm not too sure if the audience is making the two connect. As
Connecting
to,
that.
yeah, you're just
Yeah.
talking private school, you're just talking education. What does this have to do with whether it's my wealth or
Yes.
their wealth and all
That's
that sort of stuff?
right.
So,
Yeah, so the way I look at it, because I consider like education and what we're doing to equip our kids to be
hmm
successful, I consider that knowledge legacy. One, I want my kids to know so much more than me in their
right,
area of gifting. So I want to
okay,
position them to be able to do that. I want to position them to be able to step out in the world in
hmm
excellence in whatever field it is. And I'm not saying everyone needs to be a doctor and a lawyer,
hmm
okay?
yeah.
But whatever it is, that's their gifting, to be able to pursue that wholeheartedly in
Mhm.
excellence, right? Because it's in service to us all. I see that as legacy, because what we are doing is positioning the next generation to achieve more success, which is creating a whole environment and a home for our grandchildren to now elevate to an even higher level, because they're going to see a whole other life with
Right.
less barrier. They're not
Uh-huh.
going to think the way that we thought, even maybe
Right.
the way our children thought. They're going to see
hmm
their world a whole other way that helps them to leapfrog all of the barriers, at least some of the other like mental barriers, okay, that, we may face, right? And
hmm
so you are catapulting your family generationally into higher success and abundance. And it's
Right.
not just financial. My whole thing around legacy, financial is part of it, but legacy to me is good work, service, excellence,
Right.
giving to your community, expanding what it is that you're doing for the world, leaving your mark. You were here and you
Right.
made an
Right.
impact. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's what to me legacy is. And so from a knowledge legacy standpoint, positioning our kids to be able to pursue, their God-given talents is their best selves in excellence. Whatever we can do to support that is elevating them. It's
Right.
elevating our grandchildren and elevating us as a community.
hmm
So that's why I love to talk about knowledge legacy as it relates to funding our children's education to make it possible. But accessing independent schools is, for some families, that could be another avenue to catapulting the trajectory of their family for
Right.
generations to come. Right.
Right.
So that's the connection with legacy thinking. Every decision is a legacy decision. Now, for families who aren't able to make it tonight to the info session with ACCN, I will also include in the, I'll share with KP the information for that session that I hosted, like that virtual fireside chat that I
Hmm.
hosted with Cheryl and with Mr. Tony. You'll get to meet him. I will share a link that you guys you can register for the replay of that,
Right,
because in
right.
that replay there are also some resources that were put together that we'll share with you. And that discussion was not only just like private schools, but also, as
Hmm.
I said, prep school. So having the whole conversation around athletics, that was
Okay.
also part of that conversation. So we'll put it there so that you can get some information. And then if this sounds like, you know what, I want to pursue it, I didn't make ACCN, doesn't matter. Still reach out to them. KP put the information about ACCN there. Reach out to them to see how you can be part of their process, because they are now going through, getting ready for admissions and stuff.
Okay.
So yeah.
Sounds good. I like it. I love it. I love it. I like when we go into new territory and do different things. So
That's right. That's right.
I encourage all parents out there, man, to just, go look into
Yeah. And
this. Go look into it.
yeah, please, like, the whole thing is just don't count yourself out.
Right.
Don't count yourself out before finding out, a little
Yeah.
bit more. And as I said, it is not for everyone, and it's okay, right?
Hmm.
But for those that it may be for, explore, right? Check it out before you count yourself out, before you count out your child's future. So that's what I wanted to talk about. One strategy to accelerate the legacy acceleration. Okay. And that's
Education, man, is
through
a key.
and
It
that's
is
through
a key.
knowledge legacy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Last time we talked,
Yeah.
we
That's it.
left the cliffhanger.
But I don't. Are you gonna deal with it now, or are you gonna deal with it next time?
Well, up to you. If we got, I don't know, if we've got, like, because that's all I
The
had for
sec.
you about this whole session, that, about what I wanted to share.
Right.
If
No,
you've
that's
got
we
questions, you want to dig into
we
what we're talking about, let's do it. And we can leave
we,
you.
we
I'm sorry, guys. I got the info. You need to tune in if we're going to do this next week. But,
yeah.
we'll see. What, KP, what are you saying?
No,
What are
that's
you
fine. I
thinking?
mean, with the piece that you just shared is perfectly fine, right?
Yeah.
As far as encouraging our folks to jump on this opportunity here,
Yes.
I think that's good.
Yes.
We don't
Perfect.
we can save the rest for another time. It just
Okay,
depends,
guys, you got
you
to
know.
tune in. You got to tune in. The
But
cliffhanger continues to hang.
Keisha will be back, and Wade will be back. So
Yes, they're going to
um,
want to participate in that
right,
chat. Yeah, that'll be cool. Definitely. We can talk about that. So, we'll talk about another strategy to
yeah.
accelerate your legacy. But yeah, so, share your comments. If you guys got questions, jump
Let
in
us
there.
know.
Let us
Dollars and
know,
cents.
and
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
see it. We can answer some of your questions. But as I said, KP's been awesome. He's already shared some links. I will
Mhm,
add some more links for you guys. And I'm hoping that, I know it's short notice, but
mhm.
I found out about it. I'm like, yeah, let's let the community know about this free info session, so you can just check it out, see if it's something that makes sense for your family.
All right, all right. So
Mhm.
that's our session for today.
That's the session for
All right. So
today.
you're good now. So you see, it's quite okay to be on the road and to be you can multitask. All right.
That's it.
With social media, it's okay, man. You got the
That's it.
flexibility.
Listen, COVID has showed us that we can make anything happen from anywhere. We are no longer constrained, right?
Yeah.
We
Right.
can be anywhere to do our thing. And, we are so passionate about serving you guys. I'm going to do it from my car.
Yeah.
I will do it from my car to share some information. So,
As
yeah,
long as
I
your
had
Wi-Fi is steady, man, you're good to go. You're
fun.
good to go. All right, folks. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna sign off. We dropped the information on you. We wanted to make sure to get it out there, let you know. We have the
Yes.
links in the chat windows of YouTube and Facebook. So remember, we're Dollars and Cents team, right?
Yes.
You just like and subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Facebook as well. Share it with your friends, your contact. All right.
Exactly. Sharing is caring. So
That's right.
share,
That's
share,
right.
share, share. We do not hoard information. We share so that we can all benefit and advance together. We're all better together.
All right, bringing knowledge and opportunity to the community,
Yes.
and teaching you all a little bit of what we know to help you do things a lot better. All right. And as Wade would say, making sense of your dollar. All right,
Love it.
folks. Yeah, well, we'll catch you next time.
Bye, everyone.